So we have a viewer named Random. That was his name, and he said, "What if your parents are divorced and your siblings go with your mom, but you want to go with your dad?" So I think, Random, you should start off by comparing and contrasting what life would be like with living with your mom versus living with your dad, because maybe that could give you kind of a perspective on long term. Think long term, because you could probably live with you could say you had a parent with a 500 square foot apartment and you wanted to live with that parent, and your other parent had a 5,000 square foot house. I think that short term you could probably live with the parent in the 500 square foot apartment, but long term for living you should probably live with the parent in the 5,000 square foot house. So if you want to live with your dad but your siblings want to live with your mom, you should probably find out why your siblings want to live with your mom, because maybe it is one of those reasons that fall under those long-term living condition categories where it's better suited living to live with their mom, not your dad. Maybe your dad is just, you favor that parent more and you don't really care what they live like. You just want to show them that you favor them or something like that. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's something that I'm unaware of. It might be. And you should remember that right now, if your parents are divorced and you're trying to decide where you want to live, negotiating, you have to remember that right now you probably want everything to go back to normal. So if you're going to be negotiating, you're going to negotiate with the mindset that you want everything to go your way, and maybe that's not the best way. So, Random, I think you should really think about how you would be living with your mom and how you'd be living with your dad, why your siblings want to live with your mom and not with your dad, and why you want to live with your dad and not your mom. Because I know for sure that my dad had a lot worse living conditions than my mom. My mom had great living conditions during divorce, and my dad was going to move into an apartment, and he had a bunch of stuff in there, and there was like no room to walk, and it was just really bad for like 10 months, and I rarely went over there because it was really hard on my allergies, and it was not a great place, and I wasn't very fond of my dad and how he lived life. So in conclusion, Random, just really think about how this is going to affect you long term and how this is going to benefit you living with your mom and your siblings versus living with your dad. And compare and contrast things. Also, remember to not do this with the mindset that you want everything to go back to normal, or this is part of your bargaining stage and this is part of a bigger plan to get your parents back together. Make sure you're in the right mindset when you're making this decision.